Hi guys, me again. I know I haven't posted in a while, a lot of stuff's been going on, so I'm just going to give you this one so that you know that I'm still here. So the book that I'm going to be doing this week is the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, purely because although I've watched films of his, I've only just recently discovered him as a writer, so I thought that that'd be good to discuss. In terms of the author, not going to say much. Dan Brown, born in June '64, he has been many things, such as a pop star, songwriter, and then he ventured into writing. His books tend to be more sort of around codes and symbols and conspiracy theories, which I really like. I like that sort of stuff. I don't believe them, like the whole Paul McCartney thing, but I like reading them. I think they're interesting, especially when someone spins them to their own sort of ends. So I'm just going to read you the bit on the back. It just says, Harvard professor Robert Langdon receives an urgent late-night phone call while on business in Paris. The elderly curator of the Louvre has been brutally murdered inside the museum. Alongside the body, police have found a series of baffling codes, as Langdon and a gifted French cryptologist Sophie Neveu begin to sort through the bizarre riddles. They are stunned to find a trail that leads to the works of Leonardo da Vinci and suggests the answer to a mystery that stretches deep into the vaults of history. Ooh, mystery history. You're a poet and you don't know it. Unless Langdon and Neveu can decipher the labyrinth code and quickly assemble the pieces of the puzzle, a stunning historical truth will be lost forever. Okay, so in terms of the writing of this book, this is the first book in the sort of, no it's not actually, sorry, it's the second book in the sort of Robert Langdon series. The reason I'm not starting with Angels and Demons is because I've only just read it, so it's not had time to sink in, and because film wise they start with the Da Vinci Code and move on to Angels and Demons. With the books it's Angels and Demons, then the Da Vinci Code, and it's a little bit confusing, especially in terms of the film, because it was sort of, everybody's like, oh, Angels and Demons is coming out as a prequel, and it ended up not being. So anyway, in the writing, as I was saying, I find that it was very easy to read. I didn't find it confusing, although there's a lot about symbols and buildings and conspiracy theories and whatever. It doesn't feel hard to read. Like sometimes a lot of books, when they give you all this stuff, it kind of feels like it's heavy. It doesn't feel heavy, and I don't know how he's managed it because it's heavy stuff. I don't mean like science or anything, it's just a lot of information, historical information, symbolic information, things like that come at you. And I think because maybe Dan explains it in narrative and using Robert at the same time, that's why it's less heavy, because he's explaining to you but Robert's also explaining to a bunch of people who don't know, so it's good that way. So like I said, I found it easy to read, but I think because I've seen the film first, that's why I was disappointed. I would suggest never see the film first. The same goes for Angels and Demons, in case I don't get to that one quickly. If you haven't seen the film, read the books first and then watch the film, because I watched the film expecting the book to go a certain way. Not so much with the Da Vinci Code, but just to mention, I found Angels and Demons quite hard to read because I expected it to go a certain way. Not with this book though, so that's good. In terms of material, absolutely loved it. I loved the stuff that's going on inside. I loved everything that, all of the conspiracy theories and the Illuminati stuff and the Vatican stuff, and you know, I just loved it all every little tidbit. There was nothing I'm not a religious person, but I'm not an anti-religious person either, and I like that they didn't go that way. I mean, there is anti-religious people in it, just as there's anti-science people and there's anti-this and there's anti-that. It doesn't feel like it's weighed too much to one side. A lot of people that I know, you know, they hear the premise of this book and they go, oh, it's anti-religious. It's not. It just so happens there might be anti-religious people in them or whatever, but that doesn't mean that it's anti-religious writing, which is good. I like Robert. I definitely like the fact that there is, for anybody who's disappointed, there's no romance in this. There's no spark, there's no late night call, there's nothing like that. It's purely about what's going on. The books that he has, I think I said, tend to span 24 hours. You know, sort of give or take, the main action takes place in 24 hours. And I think I like that because it's quite a big book. But you get the pace, you know, time is of the essence kind of thing. So I like that. And the writing, because it's easy to read, makes the material easy to read, makes it easy to believe this all happened in 24 hours. Again, give or take. So you don't feel like, this happened way too fast, you know, they could have spread that out. It's spread out, believe me, it's spread out enough. Probably more than enough. It's 593 pages, so it's spread out, but it's close together as well, so you get the feeling of the rush and the adrenaline and what have you. I like the characters, the way they're developed. I liked Sophie's, I liked her air, the way she presented herself. I liked Robert's intelligence. I liked kind of everybody they come across, including the baddies. Especially like Silas, but I think that's because I like Paul Bettany. They played him in the film, but I really like this version of Silas as well. In terms of rating, I would give this book probably, it's hard, I'm trying not to think of the film, okay, don't think of the film. I would probably give this book a 6 out of 10, purely because, don't think about the film though. It's hard to not think about the film because as I was reading it, again, I expected it to go a certain way. It's a good book, there's good material. I think if I hadn't seen the film, I probably would have said like 9 out of 10. So I'm going to be fair, try not to think about this. 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I would definitely recommend it, it's a good read. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing I thought, oh, don't do that. Why did you do that? Nothing bad about it. It's a good book, so. Da Vinci Code. I will be trying to do these more often, as I said 100 times before, but stuff props up and then I have other stuff to do. I'm going to try and put some links down below. I'm trying to keep these videos shorter because I realised they were getting longer and longer and longer, and before I know it I'm asking you guys to sit for half an hour listening to me rambling. So I'm going to keep them thingy. So 7 out of 10.